Hey, welcome to the Peep Show Talk. Today we're talking to a vendor. It's a vendor people may not know a lot about. It's the Jeepster man, and it's a company that I was completely unaware of, and I sort of became aware of it because I actually know one of the operators of it. So say hello to Jonathan Vilbert.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Obviously, he's driving right now. He's delivering parts, I believe, down to Sikeston, Missouri. So it shows a little bit of his dedication to getting stuff to people. Let me give my standard disclaimer. Again, I'm not getting anything for this. I'm not getting a discount. I'm not getting anything free. And any other vendor that wants to come on are more than welcome to do this. So, Jonathan, where are you right now?
I'm actually on Highway 55 headed south, stopping and dropping parts off tonight and picking stuff up tomorrow. So,
Okay, so you're heading south of St. Louis right now.
yeah, yep,
Okay, well, I've never called him Jonathan in his life. He's always just been Vilbert because when I taught ROTC, he was one of my cadets. And actually, didn't you go on to aviation? Is that right?
I did. Yep, I retired as a military officer. I was a Black Hawk and King Air pilot.
Okay, yeah, I've got another friend who is a Black Hawk pilot in the Kansas Guard. So, tell us about Jeepster Man and kind of how this got going for you guys.
Sure. So the band's been around since this, and the original owner, which was Morris Ratner. He passed away probably about 14 years ago, and his daughter carried the business on for some time. And years ago, she was ready to retire. My father and I already had a small business called Just Jeepsters, which was only Jeepster Commando parts, and we kind of just did it on the side. Um, we were contacted by the owner of Jeepster Man, which was Shelly at that time, just a few years ago. She knew I was retiring from the military and my dad was retiring from Boeing. She contacted us about buying Jeepster Man. So we made this purchase. Right now we're going on about, 2.5 years where we combined Jeepster Man and Just Jeepsters. And Jeepster Man was much larger than Just Jeepsters and had a very large manufacturing capability and actually make a lot of parts for the wheelies and Jeep vehicles that people don't know that Jeepster Man was making them. So that's why
Hmm.
we were interested in purchasing that business. They had almost become a wholesaler. A lot of people had lost sight that they were actually a retailer, and a lot of people thought that they were Jeepster parts only, which in fact they're not. We actually make more parts for all the flat fenders and the station wagons, pickup trucks, and some of the military vehicles as well.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where Jeepster came from.
Yeah, I'm actually showing right now. It looks like your video dropped off, but I'm showing your webpage right now, and it's got the picture of Morris Ratner, and
Yes.
we have over 100,000 OEM parts in stock. So this is primarily a military vehicle crowd that's going to be watching this. So what kind of military vehicle parts do you guys have? Oh, there, you're back.
Uh, yep. Obviously, we have, so we purchase parts from Crown Automotive and from Amex Ada. And then recently we've signed a deal with MD Juan to purchase directly from them. So anything that's offered through Crown, Amex, MD Juan, all of those military parts are available to our customers, and we are constantly adding more and more to the website. With our new relationship with MD Juan, they actually make a lot of the military parts, and people don't know that. But that we'll be adding more and more to our website for the MBs, GPWs. And then we have a few things that we make specifically, like some of our disc brake kits that fit those vehicles, some upgrades that we have our disc brake kits. And then there's some lenses and parking light bezels and such that we make for some of those vehicles that cross over as well, that
Right
are
now,
actually made
I'm
by
showing
Jeepster.
your MB and GPW page, just the whole
Yep.
product listing of all the different things that you have. So, and a friend of mine who restores military Jeeps, Like he almost never buys from the standard Jeep vendors that people go to with, you know, some of the bigger ones that everybody knows. He always goes through standard Willie's products people just because everything is so interchangeable.
And that's something we have too. So when we bought Jeepster, man, I literally have 3 hangars full of parts, and some of those are military parts that are NOS, and some of them we haven't even finished going through. I moved 5 tractor trailer loads. Some of those parts we haven't finished going through those parts that are NOS. I mean, I've got some NOS parts that a few military guys have walked through and been like, "Do you know what this is?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." They're like, "This is worth a bunch of money because nobody has these except you." So we haven't even got through all those parts. But
But what kind of stuff were you finding?
the Jeeps, we've got some NOS distributor caps and some ignition parts. I know that. Some of the NOS mechanical switches for the starters, got a bunch of those. There's stuff down there that we haven't even had a chance to go through and finish unpacking all of that stuff.
It kind of reminds me of like it sounds a lot like the situation at Vintage Power Wagons, which when I go to their rally, they let you kind of go through their warehouses if you want to find something, and um, they have a lot of stuff that their current staff doesn't even really know is there. So I'd walk through a warehouse, I'm like, oh, there's World War II radio trays that you mount all the different components onto. And I knew someone who was looking
Yeah,
for a part. I'm like, hey, contact them. They're not going to know where it is, but I'll tell you exactly where it is. So it sounds like you're
yeah,
kind of in that boat.
we do. We have some of that. We purchase from some places sometimes that nobody really knows they exist. They just have like some warehouses full of old NOS parts, and
Hmm.
we source some of our parts through there sometimes too. So it's not always reproduction parts that come from Crown Economics, because obviously if you can get NOS, you want NOS, but it's also World War II era stuff, so you won't always find NOS. Sometimes reproduction is your only option.
Hmm. Are there any other vendors you're looking to add? Maybe like Joe's Motor Pool, anybody like that?
We buy a few parts through them. Um, we buy a few parts through RFJP as well. But I mean, the deal we just signed with MD Juan is kind of huge for us because we can, they make more of these parts than anybody else does. So,
Hmm.
but we're always looking at adding purchasing from other vendors, and we open our products up to them as well and sell to them. We
Hmm.
make that's something a lot of people don't know. Like we make over 200 of our own products that fit, from 1941 all the way up to generally right about 1976. All the Willies and Jeep vehicles,
Hmm.
the MDs, GPWs, that we have over 200 products that only we make.
Well, what
Um,
are some of those products that you guys make?
so we make the lenses for the CJ2A, the parking light lenses and the bezels. We have a lot of the rubber we make. We make all the rubber for the station wagon and the pickup trucks. Make all the rubber for the Jeepster. We make our own disc brake kit that fits the front axle, the Dana 25s and the Dana 27s. Nobody has a disc brake kit that is like ours. A lot of little different bezels for the station wagons and the pickup trucks that we make. A lot of sheet metal. So we make a lot of sheet metal for the Jeepster Commando, the truck, the station wagon, the two-wheel drive Jeepster. Um, Not so much. I don't make any sheet metal really for the GPW or MBs.
Well, there's so
Those are
many
some of the
companies.
main.
There's three good companies out there making them right now. Are
Right,
solid,
right.
fairly robust companies. Right now, I'm showing your your CJ3A page, which would be probably the closest to the M38.
Yep.
And
Yeah, like some of the sheet metal we sell comes from, obviously some's from Onyx and Crown, but then we sell Classic Enterprises. They make an excellent product, and we sell some of their sheet metal as well.
And then now I'm going to the CJ5 page, which would be probably what, the M38A1?
Yeah, that'd be close to those. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Great. So where's your business going, you think, in the future? What sort of product lines are you looking to add, and where do you see this business going?
Yeah, so we here very soon we have a paper catalog that's coming out. When I first bought the business, we kept getting asked for paper catalogs, and we're like, we didn't understand. We figured a lot of people were moving to computers, but we got asked so much that we actually are having a paper catalog that's like 200, I think it's around 250 pages, color print. It's free. We'll be shipping those out here in a few months because a lot of our customers, we understand they want something paper to look at. So every year you're going to see us add more and more parts to that. You're going to see, now that we send this deal like with MD Juan, you'll see us start to carry a lot more MB and GPW, M38, M38A1 parts because we'll have those readily available to us. So
Mm-hmm.
we really just want to get the word out that, one, we make all these products that we used to sell a lot of our products to a major competitor, and I'm not going to say any names, but we no longer sell our parts to them any longer, and people in turn can come to us and get those parts and get them at a lower price. So we just want to get the word out to people that, hey, we're making new parts. We test these parts. We're constantly buying vehicles, different models and such, and testing these parts, or pulling models in our shop saying, hey, what can we make, or what can we make better that somebody has already made, or maybe somebody isn't making.
Mm-hmm.
So something that hardly none of our competitors do is we don't see competitors pulling these vehicles in and trying to come up with new parts that maybe nobody's making, or innovative parts that maybe make it safer, a little bit easier to drive your vehicle, because
Mm-hmm.
there is quite a market for that as well.
Yeah.
So that's where we see it going. We see it adding more, like right now, I think we have over 3,500 different products. And I would say in the next year and a half, you're probably going to see us up around 5,000 products. You're going
Mm-hmm.
to see that paper catalog continue to grow, and you're going to see more models added to our, to what we offer.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about the paper catalog. I know one other
Yeah.
company just put out a big paper catalog within the past couple of years, and heck, just from some of my discussions with some people on the MVPA board, hey, they've got people who don't have checking accounts with.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they
I
they
had
do
somebody
they do
send me a
everything
money
by
order.
they do everything by money order and things like that. So you probably see a
I know.
little bit of that, but
I do. I had one today. A guy was like, "Can I send you a money order?" I'm like, "Sure, that's fine." But so
and I'm
that's where we're going. We're not just your run of the mill parts place that's going to sell Crown and Onyx stuff. Like, we're constantly making new products that nobody else is making.
Mhm. Yeah, well, if you want to get into some flat parts, let me know. Mine's in pieces, and mine's in Missouri. So you guys are located just
Yeah,
south of St. Louis and Festus, which is
just south. Yep,
it's and those of you who
just
aren't
south of St.
yeah, if you aren't familiar with it, like the southern boundary of St. Louis is the Merrimack River, and I believe Festus is the next town over, right across the river from the south end of what will be considered St. Louis County. And I'm also looking at your webpage
Yep.
here, and it looks like you had some Jeeps for sale. You had the Jeepster Commando and a 1970 Jeepster Commando and a 72 Jeep Commando, and it looks like they both sold. Didn't you take one of those to Barrett Jackson?
A matter of fact, I just sold the one on the right today.
Okay.
That's something that we do that's completely different than any of the other competitors out there too. Is we go to auctions, we buy vehicles that potentially are going to be desirable vehicles that somebody want. We'll
Hmm.
buy any sort of Willys Jeep vehicle, GPW. It doesn't matter. Like, we're not only stuck on Jeepster Commandos. I know that's what you see right now, but
Right.
we sell all kinds of those vehicles. And I have my cousin who's been going to these auctions for years. So yeah, we go to Mecum, Barrett Jackson. We take some of these vehicles, and so we get people that are selling their Jeep or they're looking for a certain one. So
Hmm. So what's
yep.
the whole
So
Barrett Jackson? Can you describe the Barrett Jackson experience? You know, in maybe a couple minutes about for those of us who've never been, who've only watched it on TV.
yeah, maybe I'll just kind of describe auctions in general because they're all kind of the same. Your two big ones are Barrett Jackson and Mecum. And it's a different experience whether you're buying or selling. Um, for people that go there to buy, sometimes that's been their dream is to go there to buy the vehicle that they grew up with, or they just really always wanted one. And then there's people that go there that have built maybe they built a Jeep and they want to go sell it and see how they do. And they put a reserve on it. So it kind of differs whether you're a buyer or a seller. And I've been on both ends, and whether you're buying or selling, it's nervous once you get to that point, whether you're buying or selling, because if when you're selling, you're up there on the block in the auction house, they want you to sell because they get paid. They get paid by you and the buyer. And
Hmm.
then if you're out there trying to buy, same thing, they're pressuring you to try to buy and bid higher. But it's a whole lot of fun. You get to see it's the best car show in the world because you'll see so many vehicles at these things that you're never going to be able to go to a car show that compares to going to an auto auction, because you get to see just about everything at these auctions.
Yeah,
And
it sounds like a lot of fun. A friend of mine, he went down one year and he bought an Edsel, and then he went back like 2 years later and sold it again. So
yeah,
I guess he didn't like
I
the
mean,
Edsel.
there's guys that once they retire, they're like, hey, I am buying a car at auction, I'm buying this, and it's just like always been their dream. Or there's people that are like, yep, I built this Willys station wagon and I want to take it to auction and see what I can sell it for. So,
Hmm.
and sometimes there's good and sometimes there's bad. Sometimes you buy a vehicle for a very good price, other times you don't. Sometimes you make money, and sometimes you go home and take your vehicle back with you because you didn't sell it. So
Right, right. And then
it
you've
is
also
fun.
got a blog on your website.
Yeah, that blog. So what we'll do, we actually have a new website coming out, and it will have a whole lot more capability for blogs. So if
Hmm.
we come out with new products, we'll write blogs about it sometimes. Like, I came out with a Willys station wagon lift kit, and that's something we'll be doing on the flat fenders because a lot of places have been discontinuing lift kits.
Hmm.
So we'll probably make those. I've actually been working on that a little bit. Also been working on fuel injection for the 4-cylinder. But yeah, we'll write articles about new products that we're developing or new products we come out with. And we have an email campaign. We send out an email, I don't know, usually about once a month, that
Hmm.
just kind of tells you what we're doing and maybe some new products. And then sometimes we have a discount code in there. So if you've got people that want to sign up for the email campaigns, they can, so they can see what we're doing. And we have a YouTube channel with videos. Our YouTube channel is pretty cool because the YouTube channel, we go to auctions and we will find vehicles. I've got a couple of videos on the military vehicles on YouTube, and I am definitely not a military expert on these vehicles, but we still talk about the basics of these vehicles and just kind of admire them and show these vehicles to other people that, you know, maybe want to see these vehicles. Should be able to find us there.
Okay, yeah,
Jeepster.
I just found your YouTube. And yeah, I
Yeah.
see you got like an
Yep. And
M38 walk
there's,
around, and you got a few
yep.
videos up there. It's cool.
And that believe it or not, you know, you go to these auctions and there's a lot of content, like a lot of things, vehicles there available to do these videos. So that's something we do that you don't really see competitors do. So we go out there and say, hey, check out this M38A1 and here's what it's sold for, which gives, you know, gives people an idea what they're selling for, shows them maybe some things that aren't correct, or maybe they are correct, or maybe
Hmm.
somebody did a personal touch on something that we kind of show everybody what they did. So those videos are kind of nice. We do how-to videos on some of our, like our disc brake kit. Like we'll do some how-to videos because we are a working shop. So we're always working on Willys and Jeep vehicles. Like we've always got one in there. We have
Hmm.
a full-time mechanic and then a part-time mechanic. And then I guess you could say I'm a mechanic. I just can't hardly find the time anymore to work on them. But
Right,
um,
right. So
that's
how
how it
many people
works.
actually work there now?
There are 7 of us that work there, and I anticipate we'll probably hire a few more this year. The business is really grown like crazy the past few years, even with COVID going on.
Hmm. From what I've heard from some of the vendors, is COVID has made it grow because people were home more, and it's created a bit
Yeah,
of a stress on one end in that you're selling more stuff, but on the other end, like manufacturers have shut down, and you got supply chain issues. Have you guys seen any issues with supply chain for your stuff?
absolutely. Yeah, and I'm glad you bring that up because everybody in this industry is affected by that right now. And we deal with some customers sometimes they totally understand, they get it. You deal with some people sometimes they don't understand and they don't want to hear the excuses. But I'll just say, like, there's these supply chain issues. Most of the time, your retailers and even your companies here in the U.S., they can't do anything to control these issues.
Right.
And we see major shortages both at Crown Automotive and Amex Ada. It actually, you know, caused us to go out and find other part sources besides those two. We started going directly to manufacturers and being like, hey, I know you normally sell to them. Well, can I just buy it directly from you?
Hmm.
And I didn't, you know, really foresee that it actually ended up being a good thing. But sometimes you just cannot get parts. And
Hmm.
it's going to take months, 6 months, a year to get some of those. And sometimes right now there's just no way around it. And
Hmm.
that's not just us, but that's everybody. Everybody that sells automotive parts. I don't care if you have a brand new vehicle and you're trying to find parts for it, you're going to have problems. So with us, you know, these vehicles are older. There's not, you know, we reproduce parts. This is low run manufacturing as far as manufacturing is concerned. So we don't always get top priority on getting things made.
Hmm.
And you know,
Yeah,
Crown
you're not making 10,000. You're maybe making 400.
Automotive, what's that?
Yeah, you're not making 10,000. You're maybe ordering 400, if that, 200.
Yeah, you might be ordering 1,000 of something. And that, I mean, to a manufacturer, that's nothing.
Hmm.
So, you know, these parts aren't always priority, and we just have to wait for these parts to come when you can get them. And
Hmm.
it just takes longer to get stuff.
And
Wheel cylinders for everybody's been a real problem. Like getting wheel cylinders has been really hard.
mhm.
Brake shoes, all the sheet metal's gone up. I mean, prices on everything has gone up, and everybody's seen that. Shipping prices for us to ship to customers, that's gone up. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good you bring that up, because it's, I want people to understand that just be patient with your vendors, and it's not just us, it's everybody.
Right.
And sometimes we get some really difficult customers that don't want to hear it. You're like, well, I'm sorry, but I
Yeah.
can't control something coming from another country, or you can't even. I have some U.S. manufacturers that have been even worse for getting things to us on time. I have several instances where the U.S. manufacturing has been even worse. So, and you would think that it would be easier when you're dealing with U.S. manufacturers, but some of these states put restrictions on these manufacturers where they can only have so many people work. And then if somebody gets COVID, they have to send like half the people home. So
Right.
it really creates problems.
Yeah, and right now it's early January 2022 for someone who may be watching this, 10 years from now. So
Yeah,
that's kind of the state of affairs. So what are you delivering right now?
actually, I'm delivering a front axle.
Okay.
Yep, yep, a front axle that I'm delivering.
What are you taking
A
back?
Dana 27. Well, actually, just picking up my tractor on the way back. We have a lot of equipment we use there at the shop. Tractor with, pallet forks and all kinds of stuff. It takes a lot of equipment to operate. We have, I think, 3 one-ton trucks, a flatbed, skid steer, a tractor. We've got the welders and all the tools, air compressor, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
it,
sounds like
it
you
takes
guys are
quite a
very
bit.
set up.
Yeah, if you would have looked at the old Jeepster, man, they were set up in chicken coops, and the old man they would never buy new equipment to move, for whatever, like wouldn't buy a new tractor or anything. But we're set up pretty well. We're actually adding on to our facility. We're on a 10-acre piece of property. We just bought another 11 acres to build another kind of cold storage building that's probably going to be about 6,000 square feet. So we're trying to set ourselves up, better than competitors, and have a shipping department that gets stuff out quickly, and then just being able to keep parts. We want to be able to keep a whole lot of parts on the shelf so we can
Hmm.
get stuff out quickly to people. And we keep thousands of parts on the shelf now, and we're just constantly trying to add more into our inventory. So
Hmm. Yeah, you guys should come to the MDPA convention and have a table there. I can kind of give you the
yeah,
details on that. That's in early
okay,
June. And yeah, I went, it's at the same location it was last year, which is South Bend. And there's actually an opportunity they did this year where you could tour the Humvee plant, kind of go through there and see how
that'd
they're
be
made
cool.
and stuff. So hard to believe
Yep,
they're still making them, right?
yeah, yep.
So,
Those are
oh,
cool vehicles. So
yeah, they are. They said they made the all the military Humvees have come out of there, and I believe they made the H1 in that building, and then the building next door they made the H2, and the H3s were made somewhere else. They said somewhere in the South, maybe Louisiana or something like that. I can't remember,
yeah,
but
yep,
okay. Well, I tell you what, this has been super fun. Just not just to catch up with you. It's always good to see
yeah.
former students out there doing well, but I ran into you at the Midwest Jeep rally. I'm like, what are you doing here? And little did I know that you were a Jeep guy. And I had my Jeep back then, I think, when you were a cadet, right?
Yes, you did. Yep.
So, but you never said anything about it. What's that all about?
And I've been around Jeeps since I was a little kid. It was kind of just Jeeps have been forced labor for me, I guess you could say. I grew up having to work on these things. My dad, you know, made us do it, but it turned out to be a really good thing. And now it's our
Yeah,
livelihood. It's where we work full time, and we employ 7 other people that we think it's great that we can give back, and we have people that rely on our business. And
Hmm.
we're keeping the legend of the Jeeps going on. So it,
That's fantastic. I'm so
yeah,
happy for you guys, and it's just good for the hobby. And you guys are good. Not just there's a lot of people that like military vehicles as well as people who just love all kinds of Jeeps. And it seems like that's you
yeah,
guys have got it all covered. So okay, well
yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. Anything else you want to say there, Jonathan or John or
No, that's it.
Vilbert? I
And
only know you as Vilbert, so Vilbert.
yeah, John or Vilbert's fine, either one. So yep. No, if you guys have any military vets, we do offer a military vet discount for our vets because we're obviously veteran owned, and anything we can do to help support you guys, let us know. So
Hey, that's great to know. What's your standard military discount?
10%, ten
Okay.
percent off. So,
Hey, same as Lowe's, right?
yep, yep. So
Oh, okay. Well, hey, thanks. I know you're a hardworking guy. You always kind of were. And hey, thank you for your service. And thanks for calling in. You're double tasking there, and you didn't wreck, which is good. Hate to catch that on video.
yeah,
So,
that's
but
true. Thanks for having me.
yep.
Appreciate the interview. And
Mhm. Yeah. Hey,
thank
thanks
you
for
for your
tuning into
service as
this.
well.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Peep Show, and I will catch you on the next one.